Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of You Can Do It Too. Now, this show isn't only about fixing and building, it's also about self-sustaining. So, in this episode, I'm going to show you guys something cool. I'm going to show you how to make a curry that you can save and use for single-serve lunches or single-serve dinners, things to save you a little bit of time and save you money in the long run. Because if you're anything like me, it's really easy to go and eat out sometimes when you're feeling overworked and you're feeling tired. So, on that note, I just want to show you the couple ingredients that I have. There's only a few ingredients in this dish, and it's literally one of those dishes that you throw everything in a pot and you cook it. And voila, you have a very good green curry. Now, one of the first things you need is a little bit of basil. Basil's very important. It gives it that good aromatic flavor. Same with your cilantro. So, basil, cilantro. Your next ingredient, ginger. And chicken. I got cage-free chicken. I like good chicken. These are the ingredients that you need that are going to be first and foremost in your dish. Other things you'll need, salt, garlic, and a little bit of brown sugar. Super simple, right? So, I'm going to go ahead and chop some things up and get going, and then I'll show you guys how to cook it.
People got saying where's while there was a game in this hood I'm living in, so free. Take a second, hold the thoughts speak. Why do we gotta look for good people in the grease? Excuse me, but I plan to rededicate my life to this new look. But see, but damn, if I be the son of Sam, there's always something smaller toward my master plan. Relax on the grass, kick rocks on the dabs. That'll build a debt real fast. So please take my style with my cheese. One blatant ideology, it comes through me. Steady breathing flow with the conscious take full. Living my life till I feel a love flow. Come on. Said I move fast, crash past, pay it for
I wanted to take a quick break to remind you guys of something else that I almost forgot. Another thing you're going to want to add to this is coconut milk. This is going to go in towards the end. You just add it straight into the dish, and it gives it a lot of that flavor that you'll recognize from other curries that you would have, Thai curries in specific. And one more other quick thing that you might want to add to your dish is some kind of veggie to give it a little more consistent or different consistency. Normally, I would add a yellow onion, but right now I don't have the yellow onion, so I'm just going to put some green onion on top in the end. But what I will use is red pepper, because I think that'll give a good little zip. So let me just cut this pepper up and then we'll get to cooking. Alright guys, now I have all my stuff cut up and I'm ready to get cooking. I want to show you real quick the sizes of portions. Now, over here we got cilantro. I got a nice little hefty pile. Right here we got basil. Got my ginger over here and my red peppers. And then right here is my chicken, just rough cut into nice size cubes. Now, next thing you want to do is get some oil going in a pan. Just turn your heat on high and get a little bit of oil in there, because the first thing we're going to cook is the chicken. You just want to give that chicken a little bit of brown before you add the rest of the ingredients in. So let's get that going. Guys, I'm ready to throw some chicken in. I know you can't see me well, but I just want to give you a good view of what you're going to be looking at when you're cooking. So let's go ahead and add our chicken. Now, after you add your chicken in, go ahead and get it nice spread out so you can get a good brown going on it. You just want to let that oil get nice and hot and brown your chicken just the slightest bit. You don't want to burn it. Remember, just get it a little bit brown, but not burnt. And while your chicken's cooking, go ahead and add your garlic. You can either use garlic powder or you can use regular garlic. For me, I'm going to use garlic powder. I just like to go nice and hefty. I'm a garlic lover, so. The other thing you want to do is salt. I'll go ahead and cook this up a little bit. Alright, now that I have the slightest bit of brown going on my chicken, I'm going to go ahead and add my basil, my ginger, and my cilantro. You go ahead and get that all stirred up together. And you're going to let it cook for just a few seconds. Mostly just to get it mixed up, and you'll add your veggie in. And after you add your veggies in, stir it up a little bit, get it nice and mixed in there, and you want to add some water. Now, you see how I have it mostly submerged in water? What you're going to do is leave your heat on nice and high and let this water cook off. It's going to take about 20 minutes on high, and then you'll eventually start cooking all this water off, and then once we get to that point and all the flavors have mixed together, that's when we're going to add our coconut milk. So let's go ahead and let that cook, and then I will be back. Almost forgot to mention one important thing. I've got my stuff at a roaring boil over here, cooking with all those beautiful herbs and the chicken and just cooking all those flavors together. But while you do that, you should cook some rice, because rice goes really great with the curry dish. And with me, whenever I save these in the method that I'll show you, I like to save it with rice as well. So that way when you cook it, you got the rice and you got the curry, and it's already straight out of the microwave. So just get that rice going. Every type of rice that you buy has instructions on the back. Very easy to follow, but get that going while this cooks, and then it'll be ready at the same time. All right, it has been about approximately 15 minutes, and as you can see, a lot of that liquid has cooked up. There's still some left in there, which is good. You want to leave a little bit in there because that's all of your flavor. All the flavors from the chicken and the basil, the ginger and the cilantro and garlic is all cooked together and create a beautiful aroma. And now, we're going to go ahead and add our coconut milk. You just want to pour that straight in there and turn your heat down. Turn your heat down, I would say, to medium-high heat. And you just go ahead and get that all stirred in. I can't stir very well with my left hand. Now, you get that all mixed in there. And you'll get that nice creamy consistency in it. And now that it's all stirred in, we're going to let this cook for about another 10 minutes. And you want it to just reduce a little bit. At the end of this, you're going to want some liquid left in it, because that's going to be your sauce. But as it cooks down, it's going to thicken up. And all those flavors are going to mix together, and it's going to create a beautiful curry for you. Alright, as you can see, it's starting to thicken up a little bit. And we are going to add a couple more quick things. One, brown sugar. You can see I have about a tablespoon of brown sugar. Just add that in, and you'll stir it in. And make sure that you give your sauce a little taste. And I can see that mine needs a little bit of salt. So just go ahead, add that brown sugar, stir it in, add salt if you need it, and we're almost there. All right, and here we are. We have a beautiful Thai curry. I've turned my heat off. The sauce is thick enough for me. It'll be beautiful to pour over the rice, and it's gonna be delicious. Let's go ahead and put it together and get some ready to freeze and some ready for dinner tonight. All right, guys, I've got my curry ready. And I just wanted to show you a couple containers. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna portion out your curry, and you're gonna put rice and curry inside of a dish that you can freeze. A couple dishes that I like to use. For me, I like bigger servings, so I like to use these plastic Tupperware containers. These things are really cheap. They run about $2 at the store for a 3-pack. Now, if you're using these, you need to be very careful when you're heating them up later on. What you want to do when you pull your curry out of the freezer is loosen that lid up a little bit, of course, to let it breathe. And then you want to cook it about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes at a time. So you throw it in for 2 minutes, pull it out, stir it, and then throw it back in for another 1 minute to 2 minutes. And that'll get it nice and hot. And you want to do this because if you just put it in the microwave and cook it for a whole 4 minutes or so, you can start to melt that plastic. That's why we want to be very careful. You don't want to be eating melted plastic. But if you're worried about cooking things in plastics, which a lot of people are, you can cook in these containers. See, these are nice little glass, or Pyrex containers, excuse me, with plastic lids. And with those, it's the same thing. You pull it out, throw it in the microwave, and what you can do is you can get a little glass plate if you have a small glass plate this size and just set it on top. Or if you're going to use the lid, just make sure you're checking on it. You know, pull it out after 2 minutes, give it a stir, throw it back in for however long you think it needs. Usually, in my experience, it's about 1 minute to 2 minutes. So, let's go ahead and get some served up. And just like that, we have some to-go meals. We have some meals for lunch. We have some meals for dinner if we don't feel like cooking. And it's all perfectly portioned and perfectly flavored. Let me show you. And voila, we have a beautiful curry for dinner. And we have 1, 2, 3 portions. Now you see, whenever you want to cool these off, which is important to do before you freeze it, just throw that lid on a little bit onto each of them. Leave a little gap for that steam to get out, and let them sit for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then stick them in your freezer. And they'll be ready to throw in that microwave and eat a great lunch instead of having to go out and pay money. Just like that, folks. Little self-sustaining tip to save you some cash. I hope you guys enjoyed this. So there it is, folks. A little quick self-sustaining tip to save you a little bit of cash on food. I just want to keep bringing you tips like this. Little things to save money, just little bits at a time. That's how we're going to do it together. Because even me, I'm learning today. I'm just your everyday average Bo. But remember, you can do it too. Enjoy your dinner and enjoy your lunches.
About to hiccup this hypocrisy. From mass step to mass thought, moving through the streets in deep. I'm bringing hippie love, make it with the peace. Release deep breaths, hold time to think. In fact, maybe think about another being. Getting work these days, it ain't so quick. Put 100 applications, make one stick. But shit, it really ain't that big, kid.